Difficult people, difficult behavior. Yes, we all deal with that. We deal with difficult behaviors of difficult people, right? So it's here. You get insights by analyzing. You learn how to influence, how to motivate, how to empower in your dealings with difficult people. From the day people are born, people are influenced by not just the meaning of words, but also by expressions like politeness, respect, feelings, gestures. People learn by knowing what is expected in terms of their responses or in terms of behaviors. And you look at the patterns of personality. It actually, when we say difficult people, the patterns are set very, very early in the childhood. People at home, they're interacting at school, at office, in the book, they read. There is an imprint of their mind in the television, in the computer. There are also events happenings, experiences. All these invariably set the very early childhood experiences. So these leads to self-doubts and prejudices, which is what the difficult people carry, or we ourselves carry in our mind. Everything is based on our early childhood experiences. So what happens to people's sense of worth? The way in which people treat others, for example, does affect their sense of worth. It is all too easy and all too sad, unfortunately, for the most well meaning adult to inflict all kinds of mental scars on other people. Being overprotective, for example, can lead a person to become over reliant on others to fight his battles or her battles for him or her, leaving him with a little sense of self worth. It is almost like a self fulfilling prophecy. One starts believing that I'm unworthy of love, I'm probably stupid, I'm an idiot, I'm a blur, I'm bad, I'm no good, so and so is better than, you or better than me. What is happening is, my mind starts accepting what is being told in the environment through my upbringing years by the people around me. So there is this conscious mind, and there is which is the outer mind, the subconscious or the inner power of the mind. So, if I need to develop my inner power of the mind, I need to learn to train, right, my mind. So, you need to learn to train your mind to think, to see, to hear, to act, and to talk positive. You notice it is not just about thinking, it is about thinking, seeing, hearing, acting, talking, everything that you do, you dip in positivity, right? And that is where you will be able to deal with yourself much better in your life and also deal with effectively with difficult people or difficult situations or difficult behaviors. But make sure, don't let your mind be a victim of negative people and bad habits. So there is this unsettled growth. See, when there's an unsettled growth, the growth is not healthy in terms of body, mind, and spirit. We are unable to form positive relationships with others. Or there is this feeling of inadequate or being inferior to others. So when this feeling of inadequacy and inferiority is there, embedded deep inside one's mind, there is an ever decreasing spiral of self image, self esteem, and definitely self confidence. So, is it a product of upbringing? Right? The feelings of inadequacy can translate into everyday behavior and actions in people. That's where we see the difficult behaviors, the difficult people. When you next encounter the bullying type, instead of reacting with the inner thoughts, hey, what have I done to deserve this? Ask yourself what kind of an upbringing he might have had or she might have had. Does he or she feel inadequate as a person, and are his or her bullying tactics perhaps a cover for the way he or she feels about oneself, himself, herself? Why are people difficult at times? Dealing with difficult people really mean dealing with difficult behavior. By learning to understand what it is that makes some people behave and talk in a difficult way, we are in a much better position not only to take charge of the situation, but also to help them resolve conflicts that made them difficult in the first place. So your natural reaction to people, see, look at this. What happens? A person is exposed to positive words, good words, words that encourage, words that appreciate. Today, the global average, according to several independent surveys, is around somewhere between 30 to 75 words of encouragement, good words, positive words a person receives in a day. 30 to 75. As against that, one receives 460 to 500 negative messages, bad words, words that discourage, words that criticize. Now, the damage is you multiply this 500 a day, multiply by 365 days, and with your age, you know how much negative our mind is, the subconscious mind. So, you have a choice. My dear friends, you have a choice to be positive. You need to make an effort, turn away negativity into positivity. See, when you do that, we feel more in control, you feel more in control. By reducing our emotional reactions, we will be better able to think clearly and objectively. We feel less hampered by frustration or anger, and we feel better about ourselves for not having responded like with like. So that leads to we must stop and think things through from the other people's point of view, control the way we feel, and attempt to act calmly and rationally. That's the time. The action steps are these four. Number one, other people's point of view. Try and understand. Think from their point of view. Empathy. Put yourself in their shoes. Control the way you feel. Your emotions. We need to control. Attempt to act calmly. Keep your calm and rationally. Use logic. Logic is an excellent weapon. Rationality is an excellent weapon for emotional upsurge in one's mind. So let's face it, turning around difficult people to become good natured and easy to deal with is not something that you can achieve instantly. It may be that in time you can make them appreciate how unreasonable their behavior is and get them to change their ways. Over the short term, if you cannot change them, then maybe the next best action to take is to change the way you react to them. Fantastic, right? So you notice when you're communicating with people, there is actions, there are reactions, and there are counter reactions. So don't react, respond, act to break the natural response cycle. See, the person, whenever you're talking, the other person is setting a trap for you. He expects an action reaction. When you react, you are using emotions. When you respond, you're using logic. And that's the big, big, big difference. That is why I look at this wonderful acronym on response. Reactions and emotions stimulate positive or negative stress experience. So you want a negative stress or a positive stress? Positive stress is good. Response is better. So for response, you need to think through. That's where you're using logic. You're not emotionally reacting or emotionally overreacting. So everyone reacts differently. Some people are shy and timid, while others are extroverted and overconfident. By making you feel low and bad, insecure people give themselves a boost by inwardly telling themselves that they are better than others. By giving in to bullies, for example, all you're doing is letting them win. But by responding in a calm and collected way, you can act to influence the way they can counter react to you. And that means you are on top of the thing. You are able to deal with difficult people or difficult behaviors. So your job is to break the response cycle, the natural response cycle. So difficult people are so used to behaving in a particular way and lead us to react to them in such a way that they can move in for the kill. By not responding in a natural way, we can break the cycle that they have set up for us to fall into. Denying them the personal feel good factor by not showing anger or helplessness is the action key. So, when difficult behavior no longer works, most such people fall back into a more reasonable frame of mind. So think of your own experience. I'm sure we all have experienced difficult behaviors of other people, or probably our own. We also experience the behaviors of our difficult people themselves who are perpetually difficult. But anger achieves nothing except to allow the actions of difficult people to affect your feelings and judgment. If you allow yourself to be stressed, the one who suffers most is you, naturally. You will feel exhausted and emotionally drained. Anger is a perfectly natural reaction every time you meet difficult people or difficult behaviors. But idea is it achieves nothing, right? And you feel stress. So it also gives you a feeling of being inadequate. Getting angry with difficult people is but only a harmful way of reacting. What about your own feelings of negativity? This may cause you to see the worst in every situation. It may also allow others to see the negative aspects of you, right? It is just as bad if you don't stand up to them or if you make excuses and become all defensive. Think about what you want to convey. That's where thinking comes, logic comes. You are moving away from emotional reaction or overreaction, yes? And some experts even recommend a disaster action diary. Every time a disaster happened, every time we were not able to control our emotions and then we spoke, not using logic, you make an action diary. That itself will be a starting point for us to change our behaviors. And also, one big question: while you talk about difficult people, do you also know how people see you? The great thing to realize is that you can actually choose to change your own self image. How do you project yourself? We are more likely to be able to resist the damaging words and actions of difficult people by acting to gain a better insight into ourselves. The way you think of yourself is not some fixed concept made of stone, so you can change. Yeah? So that's why it is important for you to learn to change. So develop supreme confidence in yourself by gaining your self awareness. Help enter every task without thinking about failing. The gift of psychology is help concentrate on your strengths instead of weaknesses, on your powers instead of problems. The majority, unfortunately, focus on weaknesses and problems instead of their strengths and powers, and that is why they have difficulty dealing with people or their behaviors. You can be your best friend or you can be your worst enemy. Open your door to self awareness. Today, the behavioral science of psychology has made rapid advances in enabling human understanding and appreciation of your true potential. Thereby, the benefits of psychometric analysis help you become aware and can make use of it so that you can optimize human capital by fully making use of strengths and powers to progress in your life, in your relationships, your career, or business. Psychometrics simply shows if your inner strengths and potential suit the role and responsibility required in the given job situation, subject of study, relationship, environment, or business. Yes, your self awareness is the foundation of self growth. Look at the ladder. Everything starts at the bottom with self awareness. Because you're aware, you're able to manage yourself better. Self management improves. Because you are self aware and self management is better, your social awareness improves. And because of that, your relationship management. That means now dealing with difficult people becomes a lot more easier because you're better able to manage relationships. So your level of self awareness doesn't change or develop without you taking charge of your learning and implementation. The right thing you need to do, number one, strengthening self awareness is to assess and identify your hidden strengths. Number two, learn how to leverage your strengths to help you deal effectively with people. And three, the most important, how to deal with your weaknesses so that it does not become a threat to you, right? And there is this wonderful quotation from Mary Ann DeVici Chambron. Let us strive to improve ourselves, for we cannot remain stationary. One either progresses or retrogrades. Yeah. Scientific analysis gives you a chance to learn and develop your mind's core capability to revise the past, to revitalize the present, and to redirect the future. Dear friends, open your mind's door to work on your self awareness and self management, to learn to appreciate and leverage the strengths of difficult people in your interactions. Overcome your weakness by collaborating with difficult people's strengths. Mold your winner mind with total focus on strengths to better manage the self. Stop finding fault with anybody and everybody, including yourself. Start to appreciate, appreciate, and appreciate. Welcome to Learn More. Oscar Murphy, life strategist, Please subscribe to the channel. There are wonderful videos, right? Plenty of videos for you to learn almost every single day, right? Please subscribe and share with others. Thank you. Have a great time ahead in your life.